It is the 41st millennium. Mankind battles for survival across the universe, besieged on all fronts by the heretic, the mutant, and the alien. In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. One faction of Space Marines stands amidst the chaos, the mightiest of the Emperor's warriors, and a beacon of light in the darkness. This legion, the 9th Legion of Adeptus Astartes, the Blood Angels.
Hey, good evening, guys. Hello. How is everybody tonight? We're going to look at some army lists based on the fact that the new points costs came out on Thursday, I think. I haven't made an army list, full disclaimer. I'm just going to use my old army list and add units to it. So we're going to look at some lists. I see Audie in the chat already. Hey, Audie, we're going to get you up first. So we're looking at 4 lists. I'm going to be here for about an hour. I've had a very, very tough day today. So if I seem a bit down, I promise you I'm fine. It's just been a really tough day. So yeah. It's funny how that works out sometimes. But good evening, everyone. Adrian, Exo, Mike, what's happening, guys? Sellers, good evening. If I missed everybody... No, I think I got everybody. Cool. If you enjoyed tonight's stream as well, leave me a like. I do really appreciate that. It helps me out so much. Thank you. Okay, so we have... I was thinking it said Unbound there. No, it says the Unblooded. 1995 points. We got you up for tonight as well, Witness Me. So we're checking out 4 lists. We got Audie, we've got Witness Me, we've got Philip, we got Shane, and then we got you last, Witness Me. Okay, so we'll be here for about an hour. So should give about 15 minutes, 20 minutes to each list. Okay, so Audie's list starts with Mephiston as the Warlord, Vitarius, Fury the Ancient, Plasma Pistol. Do you know what? When we're doing this, I'll maybe jump between the points cost. Mephiston only went down 10. I mean, I guess that's still fine, but okay. We have the Blade Guard Ancient, the Primaris Captain with a Heavy Bolt Pistol, the Master Crafted Power Weapon and a Relic Shield, a Lieutenant with a Combi Weapon, a Librarian in Full Boss Armor, and also a Chaplain with a Jump Pack. It's quite a lot of characters here. My opinion of this Chaplain with this Jump Pack is you should drop his Bolt Pistol and replace it with a Power Fist. Because the Chaplain gets +1 to wound, so you lose 1 attack. Like if you look at, I was going to say I can pull up that Chaplain's data sheet real quick, but that Chaplain gets the option to drop his Bolt Pistol for a Power Fist Chaplain with Jump Pack, and like his Bolt Pistol is 1 shot is Strength 4. The Power Fist still hits on 2, so you lose 1 attack, but you gain 2 Strength and 1 AP. So I think that like if you were fighting like toughness 7 enemies, for example, then that Power Fist is going to be way better than the Crozius. So I don't think a Bolt Pistol... Actually, does he come with a bolt gun these days? Oh, his bolt gun can be replaced. I think it's best to replace it with a Power Fist, in my opinion. I guess you could take the Crozius Infernal Pistol. I think the Power Fist is good. Okay. I think it just makes him better, especially if you've got +1 to wound as well, right? Good evening, Watton. Hello. So then we've got Blade Guard, and this is a 6-man Blade Guard now at 180, down 20 points. You've got the Incursor Squad to get plus to shooting, and then you've got the Inceptors in at 115. You've got a Repulsor with a Twin Las Talon, and Twin Las Cannon, Las Talon, Defensive Array, Hunter Slayer Missile, a couple of Lancers. Why are these so expensive? 2 Lancers should only be 320 points. Something's gone wrong here. Lancers went up to 160, right? They're not 180. So I think you've must have made a mistake here or something. You've lost yourself 40 points there. So assume that you've got 45 points, I guess. Storm Raven, Twin Multi-Mount, Twin Las Cannon, Hurricane Bolters, Armored Hull, Storm Strike Missiles. Not many people are playing Storm Ravens, man. I don't really know what they bring to the table. I mean, they can't hold objectives. They can't really do actions. The firepower is fine. But I mean, like, if you compare their firepower to a Land Raider probably gets just as much firepower now in that it's got like 4 las cannons and it's got a multi-melta. The twin multi-melt I got hit pretty nastily as well. Like twin multi-melt on the Stormraven used to be pretty good. I don't think it's that good anymore because of the low strength. Hurricane bolters are fine, but I guess like an assault cannon on the Land Raider is better. I think if you have a Land Raider, I think it would be better to run than the gunship. Again, that'll save you like 15 points. And then you've got Death Company Dreadnought with Twin Furioso, Meltagun, Heavy Flamer, Magna Grapple. I think you got too many weapons on this Death Company Dreadnought. He can have, he can basically, if he's got 2 Heavy Flamers, he can't have a Meltagun. Each arm has an underslung weapon, so I'd replace. I think he's best as just like I think he's best with flamers, but I can get on board with meltas. But I think you just want flamers to kill infantry, and then you try and kill vehicles and monsters with his fists. So the Blade Guard Ancient plus the Captain in the Repulsor with the Blade Guard. Okay. The Lieutenant with the Combi Weapon also in the Repulsor, but not attached to any unit. His purpose is to deploy teleport homers or other mission-related actions in the midfield. The special allows him to move anytime someone comes close to him. He's a lone operative, so he's difficult to kill. The Blade Guard Company do most of the screening for him anyways. The Librorius and Phobos are attached to the Incursors to keep them alive and maintain the +1 to hit on priority targets. That's not a bad idea, you know that? I haven't done that yet, actually. Librarian with Phobos armor. I guess I need to put my Librarian with Phobos armor on my painting table. I feel like I should do that right now, because if we get to the end of the stream, I'm going to forget. So, yeah, I feel like that might be a good thing to try, actually. Just to make it that those Incursors cannot be killed. What's the ruling on the Librarian Phobos armor? He gives the unit he's attached to lone operative or stealth, or let me read it. Librarian. I feel like I have to try this. Okay, there's a million librarians in Phobos armor. So you get 4 up against Feel No Pain against psychic attacks, and cannot be targeted by attacks with 12 inches. Yeah, I mean, Incursors aren't that survivable. So yeah, I mean, I guess having the Librarian there and then keeping the +1 to hit up is possibly pretty good. I was thinking of adding Incursors to my next list. So after this unit is shot, select one enemy that was hit by one or more attack. Until end of the phase, you get +1 to hit roll. I mean, I guess that's with a couple of Lancers. That's not bad. It's pretty good, actually. Yeah, I could get on board with that. Mercenary Q, thank you so much for becoming a member. I do really appreciate it. How are you, dude? I have a Stormraven and I kind of want to try it. I just think that Stormravens weren't that good in 9th. I think I feel like no one's taking them. I think that's probably like Repulsors are reasonably decent. Land Raiders are, in my opinion, reasonably decent. So maybe that's what you should think about. I think if you're running a Death Company Dreadnought, which you've got here, he's going to be in strategic reserve anyway. You're very unlikely to put him in the Stormraven, I feel like. So I think that kind of makes the Stormraven pointless. Sorry, when I was going through this, I missed your Assault Intercessor Squad as well. You got 1 battle line unit. Okay. The Death Company Dreadnought plus Death Company Marines and Chaplain and Jump Pack in the Stormraven. I'm even painting the Stormraven Death Company colours. Rule of cool. I know it's not optimal, but it's cool. I was going to say, how many... Is it 5 Death Company with Infernal Pistols? Sorry, 3 Power Fists, 1 Power Weapon, 1 Thunder Hammer, 4 Infernal Pistols. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the Chaplain and the 5 Death Company go in a Land Raider really well as well. And I think the Land Raiders... Stormraven toughness 9 or 10, right? There's definitely something to be said about, like, toughness 12 vehicles just being really optimal. Like, the toughness 12 units are just a nightmare to bring down, right? Like, that point where sometimes people don't even shoot at your toughness 12 stuff. So it's toughness 10 on the Stormraven, 14 wounds, 3 up save. It's got -1 damage. Oh, I forgot it's got -1 damage. It doesn't have supersonic anymore, though, right? There's no minus to shoot against a storm. There's no minus to shoot against a flyer. I don't think I've played against flyers yet in 10th edition. I guess no one's doing 10th edition flyers. Juan said incursors were brilliant for you today. Did you attach a full boss librarian to them, or did you just run them as is? I'd rather deep strike the company than put them in a storm raven. I think I'd rather use rapid ingress or have them in a land raider. The new terrain rules make hover very optimal. Yeah, I mean, I just don't know if it's got very good guns anymore. Because the multi-melta doesn't really kill. The multi-melta doesn't really kill armor. So you get two las cannon. No, you've only got one. You got one twin link las cannon, is that right? Two storm strike missile launchers, a twin assault cannon, typhoon launcher in the armor hull. You replace the assault cannon, so you've got one shot from the las cannon, but re-roll into wound. I guess you could keep the typhoon launcher, but it's not that good because it's only strength 9. Yeah, the Storm Raven used to be like a really good gun platform. I don't think it is now, right? Sellers, thank you so much for coming a member. Yeah, I had a shit day, so seeing some of these people coming in, seeing some people coming in members is definitely helping cheer me up. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I don't think it's a good gun platform anymore. Because, like, the plasma cannons are not optimal whatsoever. I can't imagine you would take the plasma cannons on it. I mean, plasma cannons on it before were kind of viable. Now I don't think they are. The multi-meltas on it, because only strength 9, I don't like them either. So realistically, you get the 2 Storm Strike missiles and the 1 las cannon that's twin linked. I mean, I think you're in the Storm Strike missiles, because they're only strength 10. I think a Land Raider is much more preferable to this now, right? Because you get 2 more toughness, you get 1 more save, you get 1 more wound. I think a Land Raider is OC 5. Yeah, Land Raider's OC 5. It's got basically 4 shots from Godhammer las cannons. You're getting your +1 to hit anyway from your incursors. It's also got the multi-melta, which is basically the same. It's got the hunter killer, and then it's got the twin heavy bolter. Yeah, I mean, I think for 255 points, the Storm Raven's overcosted. I think based on like looking at that Land Raider, I would say it's maybe like 220 now. But I mean, I guess if it's ruler cool, or rule of cool, then go for it. I just don't know if it's going to be super competitive. Twin Link las cannon was what I was running one time I ran it. Land Raider has the ramp, but you don't get the Dreadnought transport. Yeah, I mean, I don't think you would. I wouldn't transport a Dreadnought and a Storm Raven. I think you're better just strategically reserving them, because then that opens the option to what's it called, rapid ingress. And rapid ingress on a Dreadnought could surprise the opponent. You're not going to be able to surprise them with the Storm Raven. They'll know exactly what to expect. The rest of your squads look okay. Like Assault Intercessors, I think, are fine. I guess they attach to Mephiston so they can reroll wounds. Blade Guard Ancient plus the Captain plus the Blade Guard can be pretty good. I did a video about that. Yeah, because they've got like the built-in reroll ones to hit, they can actually do a decent amount of damage in Sons of Sanguinius. I still think you want to play Red Rampage every time you charge with those Blade Guard. The Incursors are useful. The Repulsor, I think, is quite useful just for transporting. The 2 Lancers are still good even with the points increase. The Death Company Dreadnought is good with the points decrease. The Storm Raven is like the only thing I don't like. And I just don't know how... Not many people are running flyers. Yes, you could say that. Can you rapid ingress the Storm Raven with the units inside it? I mean, I don't see why you couldn't, but let me read the rules. Where's the quick start rules? Is this it? Rapid ingress. Within the amusement phase, we'll select one unit from your army that is reserved. You can arrive on the battlefield as if at the reinforcement step of your movement phase. You can use the stratagem to enable a unit to arrive in the battlefield during a battle round it would not be able to arrive in. So the flyer has to arrive in turn 2 or 3, right? So you'd never be able to use rapid ingress to arrive in turn 1. So, I mean, I think potentially you could rapid ingress and arrive, like... So if you went first, so you had turn 2 before your opponent, you could arrive. But, I mean, maybe, at least that way you could disembark, move, advance, charge, potentially, with your Dreadnought inside. Yeah, I mean... You could rapid ingress the Stormraven. That's a really edge play, isn't it? Wow, I hadn't really thought of that. But yeah, I mean, maybe you could. But I think if you've got 40 points left over here, and you cut that out for like a Land Raider, then you could have about 60 points left over. 60 points is like a squad of Voidsmen, because they're 50 points. And they're very good at scoring. And they can go in strategic reserve as well. So that's probably what I would do. I always think it's like you've got your one lone operative for some scoring, but Voidsmen, like I've had a lot of games where the Voidsmen have scored at least 10 points. They're very useful. Yeah, I probably need to I need to try incursors a couple more times myself. I think incursors do help, but there isn't a single gun on the Stormraven that gets me excited, right? I guess that's the problem. Even with +1 to hit. You know, strength 9 multi-meltas, one shot from the las cannon, and then 2 shots and missiles. I think you're better off just having the 5 Godhammer las cannons from the what am I trying to say? 5 Godhammer las cannons from... No, 4 Godhammer las cannons from a Land Raider. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, dude. I do really appreciate that. Parallel...
I have awoken.
Parallel the 5th, I think is what your name is. Very much appreciated, dude. Thank you. So yeah, I think I would change that out. And maybe,
I have awoken.
in my opinion, you do have a lot of characters in this list. Yeah, I would play a couple of games and see if you feel like... If you're winning games, great. But if you're not winning games, the first thing I would start thinking about is like... You have 470 points of characters. If you look at my list at the moment, I have 1 character. Or 2 characters for like 150 points. Characters can be good, and obviously can buff. The Land Raider gets 4 attacks from the las cannons on it. None of them are twin-linked. It's this Godhammer las cannon, which is 2 attacks, but it's got 2 of them. This is equipped with 2 Godhammer las cannons. So it gets 4 las cannons. If you've got the +1 from the incursors, then you've got 4 las cannons hitting on 2. It's strength 12 minus 3d6 +1. I think that's just a lot more... It just feels more reliable to me than the 1 twin-linked. And the multi-melta is twin-linked on the Stormraven, but like... Multi-melters are typically only going to wound armor on like 5s anyway, so twin-linked maybe helps a tiny bit, but like... I think you've got the salt ramp rule from the Land Raider too, so thank you so much, Audley. Audie? How do you say your name? Is it Audie? Thank you so much for the gifted sub, I appreciate it. Evening, Andrew, hello. Everybody that just got a gifted sub, make sure you make sure you link up your Discord account with your YouTube account. You go into Discord, you click settings, you attach your YouTube account, and then you come into our members only room over on Discord, which is probably the bit. If you want to speak to me on a daily basis, the best place to speak to me is on the members only room. Cool. Yeah, overall, I think it's decent. I was going to say, I think you could probably run this as a Gladiators Task Force list as well. Like, I don't think there'd be almost any downside to run this as Gladiators Task Force. but maybe it's fine. Sons of Sanguinius. Either this list could go either way. If you got any questions, throw them in chat. You keep forgetting Discord exists. I mean, what year are you living in, man? Discords exist for like... I don't actually know. Discord must be like 5 years old at this point or longer. Alright, so Philip was in the live stream last night, and he has given me a... This is maybe a Dreadnought heavy list. So we've got Tech Marine. This Tech Marine's actually just going to disappear very soon, and you're going to be left with only the Primaris Tech Marine. But the Primaris Tech Marine is fine. He's worth picking up. You've got a Ballistus Dreadnought, which I thought it was okay at 170 points, so I think it's probably okay at 150. Death Company Dreadnought I thought was okay at 195, so it's definitely okay at 165. We've got 3 of them. We've got 3 Furiosos. We've got 3 Ironclads. They're getting put into Legends as well. So I guess this list doesn't have very much time to play. And then you got 2 Librarian Dreadnoughts. I think 2 Librarian Dreadnoughts is a mistake if you don't have any infantry. I think this... I guess they do have that aura, and I guess the aura would... You would get the aura on... Like, if you made 2 bubbles of Dreadnoughts, you would get the aura twice. We just haven't seen anyone do that, because it sounds a bit crazy. The aura is like Shield of Sanguinius, right? And it's... while friendly adept starters units are within 6, the units have a 5-up feel no pain against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. I know a lot of people didn't watch the video I made... Was it the video I made like 2 weeks ago? The last couple of weeks' videos haven't done well. Sometimes the YouTube algorithm just penalizes you for no reason, and sometimes videos you think are crap will do really well. I made some cards, like printable cards, with all these sort of rules on them. I'll show you them real quick. Where like, no, this is the 10th, this is the 9th edition cards. I made 10th edition cards, here they are. So if anyone wants the link to these 10th edition cards, I'll just put it in the chat right now. You should just be able to bring these cards up and print them out. If you want little cards that you can put on the table, that you can edit this as well, make a copy of it. This just lets you, like, little things that you're going to forget. So like Oath of Moment, Tech Marine stuff, Bolter Discipline, Litanies of Hate, Feel No Pains, the Shield of Sanguinius. You just want a little card you can lay on the table as you're playing. And remember all these rules, because I sure as hell can't remember them. I think that's good. Bloodlance is good. What is Bloodlance? Oh yeah, Bloodlance. I haven't really used its Bloodlance. So Bloodlance is a focused smite. Strength 10 minus 3d6 damage smite. With sustained hits d3, which makes it pretty swingy. And you can overcharge it, or you can hazardous for d6 plus 3. I'm not sure I think it's... You know, like, you're going to roll 6 once per game. So, the Bloodlance sounds very, very swingy. Like, I think the strength of the Librarian Dreadnought is the teleport, but maybe the shield to give a 5-up against mortal wounds and psychic attacks. It's maybe not too bad. I guess mortals aren't quite as prominent as they were just a hot minute ago, right? I'm dropping the Tech Marine in my list, Mike. I don't necessarily know if you need a Tech Marine anymore. I'm going to be dropping my Tech Marine and replacing them with a squad of Incursors. The rule for the Tech Marine is super difficult to pull off now, right? Like, it used to be that the Tech Marine could move, and then you could do your healing and stuff. The Tech Marine cannot move now, which makes it really impossible. So, like... In your command phase, you can select one vehicle that's within 3 inches of this model, and that model regains D3 lost wounds. So you almost have to predict a whole turn before which unit you need to stand next to be able to repair it. And even if you could realistically predict that, which you kind of can't, your opponent would be like, oh, the Tech Marine stood next to that one, so I'll just not shoot the one the Tech Marine's next to because that's the only one you can repair. You know, like before you would be able to move the vehicle and the Tech Marine closer together. So you could honestly be 20 inches away from your Tech Marine. Your vehicle moves 10 inches towards it. Your Tech Marine moves 6 and advances. So, like, I don't think that the Tech Marine's worth it at the moment. I think you're probably better off with Incursors. And I think I've used the Tech Marine for like 6 games in a row now. And I think I think in the last game he healed 1 wound. And like, I think one other of the 5 games he healed 1 or 2 wounds as well. So like he's averaging like half a wound a turn. So I think you're just better off paying 20 points more than what the Tech Marine is to have a squad of incursors which can light something up to get multiple units can get +1 to hit, as opposed to one unit that the Tech Marine can get +1 to hit. I guess the only way the Tech Marine could be good is if he's following like a melee dreadnought potentially, with the idea of keeping that melee dreadnought hitting on 2s and etc. etc. Does the +1 he give help though? Probably not as much as incursors, and most of the time my tanks are shooting at an Oath of Moment target, so +1 doesn't really matter anyway. I'm usually re-rolling misses. So I'm going to try a few weeks without the Tech Marine. I'm not sure he's needed. He's definitely not as good as he was last edition. 3 Ironclads, all with close combat weapons. 3 Furioso with, I guess, Blood Talons, Heavy Flamer. I'm surprised the Furiosos don't have... Oh, one's got... No, I was going to say, I'm surprised they don't have the frag cannons. Okay. This is a very, very melee heavy dreadnought list. Probably wouldn't run this myself. Most of these dreads are T9. The Ironclad's not. I think the Ironclad's T10. I think the rest are T9. And I honestly think T10 is like a big difference. Because there's a lot of things that are strength 10, right? So I'm afraid, Philip, I'm not sure I love this. Maybe if you'd had a couple of Brutalises in here. But then I think just like, if you've only got one dreadnought with guns, which you do in this list arguably, which is the one Ballistus, it's almost possibly not even worth taking it, because it's like, the Ballistus is 2 strength 12 shots and 2 strength 10 shots. So I feel like it's unlikely to kill much. You made a note at the end, sorry. I realise the Ironclads are leaving, but I will play them till they officially get retired. That being said, you could replace 2 of them with Ballistus and 1 Brutalis, and both Librarians with Brutalis, and it would still be 2k. Yeah, I think I'd do something like that. Like, I think if you're gonna run one shooting dreadnought, it's kind of pointless. Like, it's not gonna... Like, I don't even think that shooting dreadnought kills a Rhino. It would look amazing on the table. Yeah, I mean, a whole army of dreadnoughts is pretty scary. I suppose it's like a whole army of knights. But yeah, I think if you're gonna bring some shooting, you want to bring enough to at least, like... And that's why people are running like 2 or 3 Gladiator Lancers, right? That's enough to pretty much drop 1 target every turn. Couple of Lancers, you know? So it's like, if you want to drop a target every turn, you're going to need a couple of Ballistus. You're not going to do that with 1 Ballistus. This list is all the dreads I have. Okay, well, then you enjoy all the dreads you have. What I would probably recommend doing is diversifying a little bit. And it's so sad that you've got 3 Ironclad and they're going away, because I actually have an Ironclad that I only just got this year, and he's going to go away before I've ever played with him, which is very sad. I used to be able to put them in drop pods. I mean, the cool thing, I suppose, now is you can put a bunch of them in strategic reserves. I recommend putting the Death Company ones in strategic reserves, because they get to make... Or I suppose the Furioso. I forgot the Furioso as the Magna Grapple. I put some frag cannons in your Furioso, because if they're reserved... I suppose they're just... When they come in from reserve, they're just outside rapid fire range for the frag cannon. That frag cannon's 18 inches. That's so annoying, isn't it? Mike enjoyed painting the Ironclad for me. Yeah, I mean, I was going to enjoy fielding it, Mike. I like the hazard stripes you did on the barrel. It's really annoying. I posted a similar list with 6 shooty and 6 melee dreadnoughts with Dante for deep strike fun. If you did post a list recently and I haven't got to it, Jones, good evening, hello. And also, who was that? Darian. Repost your list, right? Like, if you posted it like a month ago and I haven't looked at it, well, the points costs have changed now, so I'm not going to be looking at any lists that was posted a month ago or something. So, first come, first served, post your new lists up. I'll get to them as soon as I can, right? We do about 4 lists a week, right? Okay, next up is Shane Bell. and this is a 2,000 point gladiators list. He's called it Mean Streak. So we've got the Chaplain with the Power Fist, and we've got the Sanguinar as the two characters. We've got Intercessors for, I guess, sticky objectives. We have the Ballistus Dreadnought with a Death Company Dreadnought. Death Company Marines on foot ×2, and all Infernal Pistols and Power Fists. Gladiator Lancers ×2. You do get some more weapons on this Lancer. I guess you haven't written them down. You get some rocket pods, and you get some, like some sort of twin stubber thing. I think it's 3 shots at strength 4. I mean, you should write it down because otherwise you'll forget. The Iron Tail Heavy Stubber, rapid fire 3, 36 inches, so 6 shots at 18 inches. Strength 4, 0-1. And then the rocket pods, which remember, rocket pods have anti-fly 2-up now, which is very useful. Like, I played against Sisters of Battle the other night, and he had all the Zephyrim in there. It's very nice to, I mean, technically you would wound Zephyrim on 2+ anyway with strength 8. But it feels nice going, oh, I have 2+ anti-fly. It does feel nice to say that, I guess, even if it's not that relevant. You've got the Incursors, you've got the Executioner ×2. So I read somewhere that people thought the Executioner was garbage. Somebody said that this week that Executioner is garbage. But I really don't see it. I wanted to actually, now that the Lancers, because I was going to do, like last week, I was going to make a video, the Repulsor Executioner versus the Gladiator Lancer. And I was going to say, you know, there's I guess before there was like, what, 85 points difference between the two models. Now it's been cut to 70. So like 70 points difference between an Executioner and a Lancer. And the Executioner, its main gun does more damage. It also has a heavy onslaught cannon. It also has the 10-shot defensive array. It has the twin heavy bolter, the twin heavy stubber, the transport capacity, the extra 2 toughness, an extra 4 wounds. It's like, I think when you start breaking it down, I think it would be interesting to see. I think because it has the transport capacity as well, I actually think the Executioner is probably pretty decently costed. But yeah, someone was saying it was rubbish. I can't remember who it was. Where do we post your lists? You post your list, like, probably the best place to put the list is in the, when this live stream ends, you can put a comment on the stream. So just put your list in a comment, just in the same sort of format you're seeing here, like an export from like Battlescribe or an export from the Warhammer app, something that's going to be nice and easy for me to read through like this on a stream. You've got the Thunderstrike in there, and I mean the Thunderstrike is going to team up really nicely with that heavy laser destroyer cannon with the Incursors. You can have that heavy laser destroyer potentially hitting on 2s and wounding on 2s. Yes, you don't get the built-in reroll like the Gladiator gets. But remember, it's only reroll 1 hit and 1 wound on the Gladiator. It's not all your hits and wounds. Land Raiders are really good now. I mean, yeah, I suppose at 10 points more, would I just prefer a Land Raider now over an Executioner? I guess that's a very good question. You know, like, especially because I'm transporting Centurions, and Centurions are so friggin' slow. Just putting them in a Land Raider for 10 points more. Oh, I suppose Centurions wouldn't fit in a Executioner anyway, but are you only working Blood Angels lists? Yes. Blood Angels, Flesh Tearers, Gladiators. That's really what I'm looking at. I don't really deal with any other factions, I'm afraid, George. You got Suppressors in there, which is a surprise pickup. I did wonder if them going down to 85 points means that somebody would try them. I think into some matchups, Suppressors might be okay. Like, if the enemy had a 600-point knight and you can just hit them from... What's the range on Suppressors? Is it still 48 inches? Or did they nerf it? Yeah, 48 inches. They're heavy, so if they stand still, they hit on 3s. You get 9 shots. So realistically, you're always going to make some hits if you stand still with a squad of 3 of them. When a unit's suppressed, when they make an attack, it's -1 to hit. So you can shoot a 600-point knight from 48 inches away. You could do that every single turn of the game. They could just be -1 to hit for the entire game, both in melee and shooting. Because it just, when a unit is suppressed, each time this makes an attack, subtract 1 from the hit roll. That's why I said the assault ramp. Did I not say you could charge out of the Land Raider? That's what I meant by the Land Raider can move, then you can disembark 3. So if you've got Centurions in a Land Raider, they're arguably like way faster than they are in a Repulsor. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, Yeah, I thought somebody might try suppressors now that they're down to 85 points. What we're going to need to do, is try them, I think. Someone was also asking last night, are Inquisitorial Henchmen the new action monkeys? And I mean, I guess, because they're even cheaper than Voidsmen. Andrew's been running Inquisitorial Henchmen in his Imperial Guard army. I haven't run them at all. Warhammer community. Let me have a look at the stats of Imperial Henchmen. 40 points. They'll be in what one? The Agents of the Imperium. And what do these guys even look like? Here they are. What did I call them? Inquisitorial Henchmen. Toughness 3. 2 wounds each. Yeah, these guys are 40 points. Toughness 3, 2 wounds each. How many in the squad do you get? You get 4 acolytes with a firearm, a melee weapon, and a viscerator. So the firearm is ballistic 4, 4 minus 1, 1. It's a pistol. The melee weapon is 301. Okay. The Viscerator is Dev Wound 6 minus 2, 2 attacks. While Inquisitors are leading this unit, each time an attack is made against this unit, subtract 1 from the wound roll. Oh wow, okay. Did not know that. Toughness 3, 2 wounds, 5 up save. You can probably get some free war gear on here as well, can they? Every acolyte is equipped with this. I do know that you can add a Mystic to the squad as well, and if you add the Mystic, then reinforcements can't be set up within 12 inches of this unit's model, similar to like infiltrators, right? So you would add like 1 Mystic. So they cost more than 40 points, I guess, if you add the Mystic, but because they're 2 wounds, they don't feel too bad, actually. 4 guys, 40 points. T3, 2 wounds. I mean, Voidsmen aren't 2 wounds, and they're 50 points. They're just 1 wound each. The Mystic is 10 points, so you pay 50 points and you have a 12-inch deep strike denial as well. They have a bad save. Yeah, but I mean, the bad save's probably offset by the fact that they have 2 wounds, so you actually have to hit them with something a little bit more than like bolter fire to kill them, right? What are these models? If I just, like, I don't necessarily want to buy these models, but if one of you guys, like, if somebody did want to buy these models, what are we searching Games Workshop for? Inquisitorial Henchmen? I never even fucking heard of them, honestly. What is this? I never really use Microsoft Edge, but I guess it's my default PDF reader or whatever. Yeah. It's in a kill team box. What's the box called, Rez? Do you know? You don't necessarily need an Inquisitor, as far as I'm aware. Why did it say you need an Inquisitor? No, I don't believe you would need an Inquisitor. They're just assigned agents, right? What do you think of the Intercessor and their sticky objectives? Too expensive for 85 points? I think 85 points to get sticky objectives is actually not too bad. You know, you hold your home field objective for like 2 turns and then you move out. Or if they don't have deep strike, you can move out straight away. I think it's absolutely fine. While an Inquisitor model is leading this unit. Alright, so you need an Inquisitor to lead them for the Mystic to give the 12-inch denial. Okay, sorry. Good point. But for 4 Inquisitors for 40 points, that seems fine, right? Interesting. Yeah, I saw Andrew field the models, but I never actually knew what they were called. You know, in the situation where they have stuff like this and they don't tell you, they probably, like, there's a lot of space on the second data card. They should write, like, what box this is in or something. I don't know. Or maybe I'm just an idiot. But I think I follow the rules reasonably well. Like, I was using Voidsman at Arms before a lot of people were using them. I actually even don't know what percentage of people are using Voidsman at Arms right now, but, like, yeah, when those limited edition kill team boxes come out or whatever, sometimes they're limited, sometimes they're not. Can be a little bit frustrating, I guess. Okay. So I've mostly played 1,000-point games. Executioners seem to be slept. The Executioners seem to be slept on deleted a Chaos Knight list before round 3 twice. With similar lists, otherwise I'd play Teleporting some infantry via Librarian Dread. Might replace a Gladiator with a Brutalis, I guess, to do some shuffling. So this is 2 Lancers and 2 Executioners. Yeah, that's actually a crazy amount of, like, D6 plus 3 or plus 4 firepower, isn't it? My experience of the Repulsor, because I've just been using the regular Repulsor, tells me that it's got a bit of versatility, right? Because it's got, like, a couple of las cannons, or 3 las cannon basically, and then, like, 18 strength 4 shots. So I actually don't mind, like, 2 super heavy power shots, and then, like, if you add all this up, this is like 6. Like, how much damage could all this crap do, right? Like, the Gatling cannon can do 6 or 8, maybe. I think a heavy onslaught might be 8 shots. Let me check. Because I'm just calling it like, hey, this is all crap, but it's actually like a lot of weapons, right? So Gatling cannon is, oh, it's 12 shots on the onslaught Gatling cannon. Okay, maybe a little bit. All right, so you could do 12 damage from that. You could do another 6 from the rocket pods. Heavy onslaught Gatling cannon. You could do another 10 from the defensive array. So that could be 28 damage. You got 20 heavy bolter, which is, assume you don't get any sustained hits, you just get the base. That could be 34 damage. Then you've got 2 twin Icarus heavy stubbers, which is, assume you don't get the rapid fire. That's 42 damage. You know, like, so you look at all this chaff. Like, most people look at this and is like, this is all shit, right? Like, this is just chaff. This is what I was trying to say. Like, this could actually do 42 damage. I think it's unlikely to ever do anywhere near 42 damage. But I guess if you actually did a bunch of maths on this and compared it to Lancer, and the fact that this is only like 70 points more than a Lancer, transports like 6 guys, has 4 more wounds, has 2 more toughness, and has enough guns there to do like 30-40 damage. Probably realistically it does somewhere like 10 to 15. But hey, if you're shooting at an Oath of Moment target, maybe, you know, Oath of Moment can add a ton of reliability. So I actually think we'll do a video Gladiator Lancers versus Executioners at some point. Is only 1 stubber? Why did it say it was 2 then? It literally said on the datasheet 2. Twin Icarus. Oh, because it's a twin Icarus. Sorry, yes, okay. Twin heavy bolter, twin Icarus stubber. Okay, I'm sorry. It gets very confusing sometimes when you think twin. Okay, so maybe we can do 40, but yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem. If you assume normally Games Workshop charge you somewhere like 5 to 10 points for additional toughness and 5 to 10 points for additional wound, the fact that you just have all those extra guns as well, I think it seems okay. The kit is called Inquisitorial Ancients. Either the pick on the models or is for another box game. Inquisitorial Ancients. Thanks, Rezio. Inquisitorial. Yeah. Would you like some help? Yeah, what kit is this in? Kill Team Inquisitorial Ancients. Okay. What do you get in the box? $32. You get 2 completely different specialists. You can build 7 ancients. So you could definitely I guess you could do the 4 default ones you want, plus some extra nonsense. Temporary out of stock online. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the, like, that was the thing with the Voidsmen. They're not even called Voidsmen. They're called, like, Illusian Star Riders or something. Is it Star Riders? I can't even spell, honestly, what Voidsmen are. So it's, I wish they'd just say what the names of the kits were. I'm not very good at English, so I struggle with this stuff. The heavy laser destroyer is scary, says Bart. The executioner can deal with chaff while tossing out pot shots against armor. I think that's what makes it interesting for me, William. Maybe I'll need to buy an executioner. Star Striders. Is that not Star Striders? But I think they were called Star Riders. Yeah, I ended up just converting some of those because I Star Striders. Apparently they're not. Apparently they don't exist either. Okay. I was going to say they. I don't even know if they're agents of the Imperium. Oh, armies of the Imperium. I was going to say it's bad when I can't even navigate the way. I can't even find them. Kill team isn't even a button at the top here either, is it? So what is it in like box games? Kill team? And then I'd have to click all. View all. There they are. That's funny because I literally typed star and it didn't come up with anything. Okay. Maybe I just type stars. Yeah, so Void. I was going to say Voidsmen are maybe outdone now by Inquisitorial Henchmen, right? Is anyone going to buy Inquisitorial Henchmen? Tell me in chat if you are. Does anyone actually run? I was going to say anyone running Voidsmen? But yeah, they don't seem too bad. 4 models will have smaller. They'll have a smaller footprint as well, so you'll be able to sneak them into little corners of the map. Potentially even easier than Voidsmen. If we go back a couple of pages here. These guys, it says down here what base size they're on. So most of them are on 25mm bases. Yes, there's only 4 guys on 25mm bases. The Voidsman is 5 guys on 25mm. So these guys are even easier to sneak in than Voidsman. They basically have a pistol and no melee. But 2 wounds each. So I feel like, you know, Voidsmen are 10 points more expensive. You get 1 more model. You have 1 better on your save, but you have 1 less wound. I think I'd swap that. I think I'd rather the henchman, honestly. I guess Voidsman, you're possibly paying an OC tax on the Voidsman because they're OC2, right? Someone says Cotius is auto-include, but why is that exactly? I don't know. Well, let me look at Cotius. While this model is leading a unit, it can embark any transport that its bodyguard unit can embark. While that model is leading a unit, units can have a 5-up feel no pain against psych attacks made by demons. That seems pretty niche. Spy network. Each time your opponent gains a CP as a result of an ability, roll a d6 on a 2-up, you also gain the CP. I'm guessing it would be that would be the reason. His Thunderhammers managed to hold on to -3 and strength 9. Guess that's okay. His psychic is actually pretty poor, I think, but his dev wounds 4 up against infantry, so I guess his psychic could do a little bit of damage into infantry. Looks like he can't go a hazardous roll in his psychic anymore. 2-up save, toughness 3, 4 wounds. How many points does Cotius? Oh, and attacks made by demon models. Psychic. Oh, right, so you... Yeah, psychic attack seems pretty niche, to be honest. And like demon models. So like, one in how many games do you play against demons? Thanks for shouting out. Andrew keeping me right. Read Malefic Wardens again. I think I read it. Right? CP farming is good, but I mean, how many times do your opponents get CP from an ability in 10th edition? Like, most of the armies I've played, I don't feel like that would be that useful. Is there not included if you play against demons? Oh, sure, but I mean, like, it's hard to build a list to have an auto-include against one specific faction. Todd's not super impressed with them, yeah. Your friendly local store may have stock of the henchmen. Yeah, I mean, if you're desperate to get henchmen or voidsmen, the thing about voidsmen, at least for me, when I did my voidsmen, I just used Tempest Scions because I figured that I could I cut all the wires off their las cannons. Apparently, I can't even spell Tempest Scions. Tempestus Scions, apparently. So, voidsmen just have las cannons, so I just cut these power cables off the hotshot las cannons and just use them for my voidsmen. I think it's fine. When I wanted to make voidsmen, you couldn't get that kit though. It was like completely sold out. It was impossible to get. Okay, so let's go back to this list. Double Gladiator Lancer, double Repulsor Executioner, Thunderstrike to get +1, Suppressors to get -1, Henchmen to do shenanigans, Incursors to get another +1. So you're melee in this, and then a Ballistus and a Death Company Dreadnought, 2 Foot Slogging Death Company, a squad of Intercessors, the Sanguiner and Chaplain. You know, this list isn't a million miles away from mine in terms of like tons of armor, very little melee. I have a little bit more melee because I've got my Death Company with jump packs. I've got Centurions, but this list is really a victim of 10th edition, right? Like, you're just bringing a ton of armor because you know armor's strong. You've got armor that can do multiple things, like we said, pop shots against big enemy vehicles or units, and then we can clear out chaff with all the Executioners. Basically, what he's doing with the Executioners, I'm doing with Vindicators, because Vindicators will clear out chaff as well. I like this list. I think I honestly would play it. I think it would be quite strong. Maybe there's certain armies in the meta that beat it, but hey, I guess nobody knows now with the changes until it's been live for a few weeks. So I would play something like this. Be interested to know how you get on, Shane. Let us know in the comments, or let us know once you've played a few games. Alright, let's move on to the final list for tonight, and this is by Witness Me Official. And this is also a Gladiator Strike Force list. So it's Captain with the Jump Pack, Infernal Pistol, Power Fist. He's got the Relic that gives him +1 attack, +1 strength, unless it's Assault Doctrine, and then it's +2 tracks, 2 strength. We've got the Judiciar, we've got Lamartez, and we've got Sanguinary Priest with a jump pack. We've got Intercessors again. We're seeing sort of seeing a few people look at Intercessors, more than I'd expect. We have Assault Squad with jump packs. Unfortunately, these guys are probably going to... You know what? It's not going to be that big a deal. They're probably just going to get switched out almost 1-for-1 for jump Intercessors, I guess. We got the Ball Predator with Flamers and Heavy Bolters. We got the Ballistus Dreadnought. We've got the Blade Guard, just a 3-man. I'm guessing they're probably attached to the Judiciar. We've got the Brutalis. We've got Death Company 10-man, All Infernal Pistol Power Fist. We've got Eliminators with the Bolt Carbine and Las Fusils. We haven't seen that much at all in 10th edition. Are Eliminators, are their Las Fusils still strength 9? Because if so, then I guess that's probably why we haven't seen it much. Las Fusils are strength 9, okay, and they're not flat 3 anymore, they're now D6. I don't really like that, to be honest. If you remain stationary, you can have devastating wounds. Okay, fine. If the unit is shot and contains a sergeant with a carbine, you can still do your move, shoot, move. But you can't declare a charge. Okay. I think you could declare a charge last edition when you did your move, shoot, move, but maybe they changed that. You got one Lancer, you got a squad of Stern Guard with a lot of bolt rifles, you got a Whirlwind. Did I say the Brutalis Dreadnought? Maybe I skimmed over that. Okay, let me think for a second. 2 10-man jump units. I guess one's got a captain attached, one's got Lamartas attached. Potentially, I guess the assault squad also have the priest attached. Then you've got the Battle Predator, the Ballistus, the Brutalis, the Lancer, the Whirlwind. DTM says, I advise against getting henchmen. GW just nerfed exaction squads for being nearly in every Imperium list. Fast forward 6 months from now, they could easily be the henchman's fate. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised, DTM, that they nerfed the exaction squad when, like, before the, you know, because people were like, oh, exaction squads are so good, and I was like, but like literally 5 minutes before the exaction squads, there was Voidsmen, and Voidsmen were there for ages, and before it was Voidsmen, it was servitors. So like if we go back like over the last 3 years, it was like everyone was running servitors, then everybody was running Voidsmen, then everybody's running the exaction squads. So like they just wanted to sell the new ones, let everyone buy them and paint them, and then they'll be next on the cutting block. I'm glad I was actually I did 10 Voidsmen, but I'm kind of glad that they didn't. You can still take them in 5s. But yeah, you're probably right. I think an important thing to think about in terms of Warhammer is the second you go after the really strongest thing in any list, you just have to expect that that's what's going to be nerfed, right? For example, everybody did, if you go back to 8th edition, it was like everybody did Contemptors with double las cannons, because Contemptors used to hit on 2s, so you got 4 las cannons hitting on 2s on a crazy good platform that didn't degrade and had a feel no pain and had an invulnerable save. So then they changed that. So then everybody was running Contemptors with twin Volkite coverings. Then they changed that. Now everyone's running Gladiator Lancers, and now they've changed that. So like, what's the next thing? I was honestly torn between buying. I was going to buy a second Lancer because I only have one, or I was going to maybe buy an Executioner. And I think where I stand right now is I kind of want to just buy the Executioner. I already get 2 Land Raiders. I do like the Redeemer, but I don't think it's my play style. I think if I want to get up close, I'll just get up close with like Death Company Dreadnoughts or Brutalis Dreadnoughts or something. So I don't think there's any reason to buy a second Gladiator now. But like looking at that, so I have the regular Repulsor, and I kind of like the idea of trying the Executioner. But, I mean, the Execution, like Rez says, it's only 10 points off a Land Raider, so maybe I should just be happy and use my Land Raider and not buy anything. It's super hard to know, right? But at the same time, you don't want to buy something that just goes rubbish. But yeah, it's a hard one. It's super hard. Okay, so this list, my opinion, is probably a little bit too much infantry. I've not had much success with 10-man jump units at all in this edition. 10-man Death Company, all Infernal Pistols and Power Fists, plus a Lamartes. Looks good on paper. Has never really performed in the games that I've run it. 10-man Assault, I was going to say Intercessors, but they're not. They're Assault Squad with a Captain and Sanguinary Priest attached. Again, looks really good on paper. They've never really performed as well as I would want them to. Like when you, even with the points dropped, like this one squad is 420 points. Most of these guys that have chainswords, you have to do a lot of killing to kill 420 points of stuff with chainswords. Yes, they can do some mortal wounds on a charge, but they're also super vulnerable. They're just toughness 4 Marines with a 3-up save, right? Like, it's not like they got an invuln. It's not like they got... Yes, they have a 5-up feel no pain, but, like... I've really struggled... Like, I struggled so much with 10-man squads that I'm just not doing it. Maybe someone in... Like, is it in chat? Are people running 10-man squads? Do people feel happy with 10-man squads? I just noticed we got 8 members on tonight's stream. Thank you so much for that, guys. Apparently my membership goal of 6 I guess gifted subs don't count as memberships, but the Ball Predator with Flamers is a magnificent Overwatch bully. I think the Ball Predator with Flamers works really well with a Thunderstrike as well, but yeah, into infantry, the Ball Predator with Flamers is really, really good. And I guess with a Thunderstrike, it means it can actually fight vehicle on vehicle as well. George says he doesn't see many Terminators. Do you know what? Terminators are probably better for other factions because people with Blood Angels typically love jump packs. But I think that the Terminator squad that went down in points, this one that's like 190 now, so that would be like what? 32 points per model? Is that right? No, I must have. 190 divided by 5. 38 points per model. Maybe that's why. 38 points per model for a Terminator is probably quite a bit. But I mean, they do have the ability to rapid ingress for free if you place your teleport homer in a good spot. They do have the ability to take chain fists, which are obviously very useful into vehicles, and like lots of people are running vehicles. I was going to say their shooting options aren't great. Like they got like 4 guys with Stormbolters, and 1 guy can take how many bloody mentions of Terminator I'm going to have to go through to get to the regular Terminator squad. They got 2 up, they got 4 up in Vun. The Salt Cannon isn't great, so I guess you run the Cyclone Missile Launcher, but the Cyclone Missile Launcher isn't great either. So I could honestly argue you would just run the Heavy Flamer for Overwatch threat. What I like about this Terminator squad, they're 38 points per model, but I mean 2 up, toughness 5, 3 wounds. It's not bad. What I like about them is this. So each time a model in this unit makes an attack, you can lower any of the modifiers that attacks ballistic or weapon skill. So you can never be made -1 to hit or any shit like that. In addition, every time a model of the unit makes an attack against your Oath of Moment, add 1 to the hit roll. So when you fight with those Terminators against the target that you picked for Oath of Moment, then you hit on 2s. And that's both in melee and in shooting. So we don't see too many of Terminators, you're right. I think you could fit a 5-man squad into a list, if that's your question. But I think if you want to fit Terminators in, I think that's the best squad to fit. That's the best Terminator squad to take. Witness Me says, I haven't faced too much indirect with my playgroup, so I can feel like I can hide them in cover. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like... Yes, you can start the unit in cover, but the second you have to kill a unit that's not in cover, the consolidation changes, the piling and consolidation changes for melee have made it super difficult to not end up with like multiple units out in the open and then they just get picked off. I was saying to DTM, like, Sisters of Battle Castigators, Sisters of Battles aren't even good in the meta, but their Castigators are horrifically good at killing infantry. A Ball Predator would be a good example, actually. Like, if you ended up with your 10 Death Company Marines in the open, for example, after you'd killed something and you got flamed by a Ball Predator, you're like, how many Marines you're losing? You're probably losing half the squad, right? Like, I think that maybe, like, a lot of the time I've said, like, oh, I think infantry are too weak, they die too quickly. But I think the big difference was, like, last edition, after you killed something, you almost always manage to consolidate some guys into cover, or sometimes you even manage to, like, pile in and consolidate half the unit into cover. How does the new Terminator ability counteract the new detachment ability for -1 ballistic and weapon skill? Well, I mean, it just would counter it completely, right? You can ignore all modifiers to the attack's ballistic or weapon skill characteristic, and or to the hit roll. So, like, the Terminators are impervious to the Death Guard's new aura, David. Is that what you're asking? Each time the unit makes an attack, you can ignore any or all modifiers to the attack's ballistic or weapon, and or to the hit roll. So yeah, do you know what? Maybe that makes Terminators, maybe that pushes them a little bit high up the pecking order. Eliminators, for me, I'm not sure I love either anymore, because strength 9, d6 damage is a bit rubbish. Sternguard, I think Sternguard are okay. I feel like they're probably better in like a. I think the Sternguard are the unit that I would have been taking in the 10 with a character attached. I like the Brutalis Dreadnought. I like the Blade Guard attached with the Judiciar. But I think I think I ran a list similar to this, like a Whirlwind, maybe a Lancer, one Dreadnought or something. Maybe this is 2 Dreadnoughts and a Battle Predator. You know what? This is maybe borderline. You might be okay with this list. I think you need to try it. And if you're struggling with this list, and you're struggling to get wins, then my advice would be to drop the Death Company to a 5-man, replace Lamartas with a Chaplain, potentially drop this Salt Squad to like a 5-man and lose one of the 2 characters you're attaching to it, and then add in, you know, like, I don't know, a Repulsor or a Land Raider or something that's like... The cool thing that I've been finding in my games is, like, I just put my Repulsor or my Land Raider right into the middle of the board. It's toughness 12, it's got 16 odd wounds, the opponent's going to need to shoot at it because it's just going to sit in the center objective with its OC 5. The second they shoot at it, I'm going to pop smoke, so it's like -1 to hit, and it's +1 to my armor save, or, you know. So, hey Jimmy, what's happening? I didn't see your first message that apparently got deleted. You found Lamarta's lethal hits on Infernal Pistols is really good with the Melta bonus, I suppose. The problem I have with Lamarta's is every time you do a charge move, I feel like you still have to pay the CP for Red Rampage. Because without +1 to wound, your Power Fists, I feel like, are not good enough. So that's why I would prefer to just take the regular Chaplain and then not have to burn my CP on getting the +1 to wound, which I feel you need anyway. But yeah, I mean, reducing the Death Company down by 1 damage can be good situationally. Of course it can be. I just personally never really rely on the 6-up Feel No Pain from the Death Company. I always feel like it's kind of swingy. I think Lamarta's looking very good for a 10-man unit. Well, maybe I just got bad luck, because when I used him in a 10-man unit, I came in against Knights and lost all 10 of them in a single turn. And, like, I guess they were more expensive then, so it was, like, probably 450 points lost in 1 turn against 1 Knight. And I was just like, oh my god, this sucks. His lethal hits doesn't apply to Infernal Pistols, or am I getting confused? I don't know, because I'm not running Lamarta's, but we can check real quick. When this model is leading a unit, each time an attack is allocated, subtract 1. When this model is leading a unit... Yeah, you're right. Melee weapons equipped with this model have lethal hits, so you're not actually able to benefit from lethal hits on his ranged attacks. This is why I was making these little cards. So if you guys want to print out these little cards so you can put them on the table, or you want to edit the little cards so you don't make mistakes like this, because it's... You know, like I was basically like printing out this little thing on a card so you could put that down on the table next to that unit. So as you're going through the game, for example, you don't mess things up. 6-up Feel No Pain is a waste of a roll, says Andrew. It certainly feels like it's... You know, let's say you're hit with 3 damage weapons and you're -1 damage, so you only need to roll a single 6 to save a guy. The amount of times that I roll and get no 6s, just... I don't rate their... If the Death Company pass a Feel No Pain, it feels like it's a bit of luck. It doesn't really happen for me, I guess. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's a couple of suggestions on how you could make that list better. Maybe some... The other thing I really like right now is Vindicators, honestly. Like, Vindicators for 190 points. If you have a Vindicator, I think you should run it. I think it's amazing. If your opponent is wasting 3 damage on the Death Company, you're already winning. Yeah, well, play up against 3 Castigators, Reziel. I'm gonna do. I need to do some. I think DTM said statistically, castigators will kill like. Did he say it was going to kill like each castigator will kill 150 points of Sanguinary Guard a turn or something? They only cost 140. So if you've got 3 castigators on the board, you're going to lose 450 points of Sanguinary Guard a turn. I'm like, ugh. And Sanguinary Guard are more durable than Death Company, right? You wouldn't likely see it. No, I mean, maybe you wouldn't, but I know Andrew went to a tournament this weekend with 3 castigators, and he definitely had won like 2 or 3 of his first games. So like, I need to find out where he was at actually. But yeah, Sisters are weak right now. But the Vindicator is the savior for my Death Watch. Yeah, I mean the Vindicator is amazing. I love it. But I suppose it depends on what. If 3 damage are coming in on the Death Company, I actually think that's like you're never rolling 3 6s, and you're very 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 rarely rolling 2 6s. So if the enemy has 3 damage stuff they can afford to put into your Death Company, basically you're just losing Death Company left, right, and center. Death Company are better poised now to take losses, I guess, but they're still expensive, right? Like Death Company Marines with a jump back, they're still 130. So they're still 26. Yeah, 26 per model. So they're still pretty expensive. I mean, they're not 35 points per model of the Sanguinary Guard, but 26 per model is still quite a lot, I feel like. I think I have a Sisters army, and the only thing I can think of making it playable is to buy 3 castigators or wait for the Codex or the Index of both. Andrew was playing a Tank Sisters army, yeah, and it was a super close game this week. I think I won it like 70 versus 69. But yeah, I need to. I mean, I'm going to a GT in like probably 2 months' time now, so I'll see some more stuff. But honestly, DTM, because I don't get games or I don't get reps against other armies, I'm probably just if things don't overly change and I keep winning with the parking garage list now that I get even more units in it. In that I have won 6 games in a row with that list now. So let's say in the next month I win another 5 or something, and I'll have won like 11 games out of 12 or something with that tank heavy list. I'm just going to take the tank heavy list to the GT because I think it's like the devil you know, right? Like it was the same as like when I took Mephiston to the GT last year, and everyone was like, "Don't take Mephiston to a GT," and I was like, but I know how to play Mephiston, right? I've practiced like 20 games with Mephiston, and I felt like I knew what he was doing. And I'm pretty sure in that GT, I think it was like 1 game, Mephiston passed every single psychic test. I really dominated and won the game really well. And then, like the very next game, he failed every single psychic test, and I lost the game. But it was like the devil you know, right? If you've played it with it a lot, and you know what you're doing with it, or you feel like you're knowing what you do with it, I'd rather play what you're winning, I guess. The thing I'm a little bit sad about is like I'd really hoped that this balanced data slate would have done something for Sons of Sanguinius beyond +1 strength, because I think that +1 strength is not that exciting. Jay Henderson says the double Vindicator collected all the scalps today. There was nothing they were not killing. 2-star Demon Princes and a Forged Fiend, rest in peace. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what happens in most of my games at the moment. Double Vindicator takes over the game. But I do like the idea of the double Repulsor as well, the Executioner. Sons of Sanguinius is better relics. Yeah, enhancements, relics, same difference, doesn't it? Okay, guys, I need to take off. Thank you so much for watching tonight. I was going to say, I don't know if I've got a game this Wednesday because everybody's been at a GT except me this weekend. So I might not be able to get an opponent this week. If I don't, I'll be here. I think painting heavy intercessors, I looked them out. So I put them on my painting table. So I'm going to maybe paint some heavy intercessors on Wednesday night. It's funny because last stream I was painting Devastation Marines and they've gone back into the cupboard now. They're never going to see the light of day again, I guess, for a while. Yeah, I hope you guys all have a good weekend. I I was going to say, I'm probably going to do a video about my wins, my big takes from the balanced data slate as well this week, but I really had hoped there would have been more reason to run Sons of Sanguinius. I guess what we're waiting for now is potentially the new detachments in the Space Marine Codex. I don't know when the Space Marine Codex is coming, but apparently it's coming soon. So it'll probably be up on pre-order. I think Valrak said like 4 to 6 weeks. So hopefully there's a good melee detachment in the Space Marine Codex that makes us want to really run our melee troops. Yeah. Alright, leave a like on the stream, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in, as always. If you haven't been keeping up with Army List Show, we are starting a bit earlier these days. So that's the time it kicked off tonight. And Alexa, stop. I was gonna say, what the fuck did I say, Alexa? Alexa in the hallway just decided to start playing music. What the hell? Surprised that didn't wake my kid up. Who knows? The Machine Spirit Rebellion, yeah, it's like too many vehicles. Alright, Mike, we'll have to touch base and find out if there is a unit that's going to help me get my... I don't know what to buy at this point, honestly. I don't know... And I don't want to buy Firstborn tanks. I was going to say, if they hadn't been removing the Firstborn, I think I'd have probably just bought another Vindicator and tried 3 Vindicators in the list. Tony used to swear by that as well, didn't he? So, save it for the next release. Oh, there is the new Space Marine releases, but I'm not sure I'm excited about any of those new releases. Like, it's just replacements of the Scouts, of the Command Squad. I guess we'll have to wait to see if they get different rules. Don't buy anything Firstborn. Yeah, that's the scary thing, Rez. And I think I don't think I'm in the minority of people thinking they're not buying any more Firstborn stuff. I think Games Workshop did that to themselves. Like, so I've basically stopped buying Firstborn and have stopped buying Forge World. And I would be buying them all the time. Witness, you're more than welcome. Good luck with your future games. Let us know how you get on and do consider some of the things I've said. Alright guys, I'm going to take off. Enjoy your night. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time. Peace.